Hello students, I hope you all are seriously preparing for your final examinations, right? In this video session, we are going to solve previous year question from Human Reproduction chapter. 2 mark questions, 3 mark questions and also MCQ questions from Human Reproduction chapter we are going to solve. Look at the first question. First question, I'm starting with multiple questions, multiple choice question, MCQ question. Look at the first MCQ question. In which one of the following option does the endocrine gland correctly match? They ask. Endocrine gland correctly match. Number 1, Sertoli cells in testis. We know Sertoli cells are there and also interstitial cells are there and also what? Germinal epithelium which is differentiated into the sperms. We already learned in the spermatogenesis and also structure of testis, right? Now this Sertoli cells, testosterone is given. No, Sertoli cells are the nurse cells. Sertoli cells nourish the developing sperms. Sertoli cells are not producing testosterone. Which cells producing testosterone in testis? Tell me. Leading cells or interstitial cells. So option 1 is not correct. Come to the second option. Placenta, estrogen hormone, initiation of secretion of milk is given here. Estrogen hormone from placenta is correct, but it's not going to initiate the milk secretion, right? Prolactin hormone does this. So second option also not correct. The third one, leading cells, androgen. Leading cells, androgen. Leading cells are also called what? Interstitial cells produce the androgen, right? And initiate the production of sperm. Absolutely correct, right? Next, the fourth option, ovary and FSH is given. FSH, follicular stimulating hormone, is not from ovary. FSH hormone from pituitary, anterior pituitary. Correct? So the last option also not correct. So leading cells, androgen, initiation of production of sperm. Option C is the correct answer. Remember all of you, on leading cells, one pituitary hormone act. The hormone name is called LH or ICSH. What is ICSH? Interstitial cell stimulating hormone. Am I correct? Am I clear? Next to the question. Second question. Question number 2. A human ovum completes its second meiosis. Let me write the schematic representation of oogenesis. We can easily answer this question. Look at here. First one is called oogonia, right? Oogonia is haploid or diploid? Sir, oogonias are diploid. Oogonia undergo mitotic division, which we call multiplication phase. So this oogonia undergo mitotic division. After mitotic division, what it will form? Primary oocyte, right? Correct, student? Primary oocyte, which is also diploid in state, right? Now this primary oocyte undergo meiosis 1. It is unequal meiosis. One big cell will form, one bigger cell will form and one smaller cell form. What is the smaller cell name? Tell me. After meiosis 1, the smaller cell name is called first polar body. So this is called what? Tell me. First polar body. This is the first polar body. Haploid, diploid, haploid. This large cell is called secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte also, it is what they call haploid, because both cells are forming after meiosis 1. Now, exactly this secondary oocyte will come out from the Graafian follicle, which we call ovulation process. Correct? Now, this secondary oocyte, when will they complete meiosis 2? They ask. Look at your secondary oocyte get complete meiosis 2. When? What time? They're asking. Are you with me, students? Look at the option. What they're asking. At the time of fertilization, when the sperm touches the zona pellucida, when a sperm gains entry into the cytoplasm of ovum, when the acrosome of sperm release its enzymes on corona. If you read NCERT carefully, line by line, it is clearly mentioned. When acrosome of sperm release its enzyme on zona pellucida, it is not corona radiata. Zona pellucida. So option 4 is not a correct answer. Option 4 is not correct. Now the clearly NCERT mentioned when the sperm gains entry into the cytoplasm of the ovum can induce the meiosis 2, complete the meiosis 2, it's given. If you read NCERT, it's clearly mentioned when sperm acrosome release their secretions into the cytoplasm of the ovum can complete the meiosis too. So the right answer option C. Right or answer option C. If you read the option D, when the acrosome of the sperm release its enzyme into the not corona, it is zona pellucida is given. What is given? Zona pellucida in plasma membrane is given in NCERT. So option D is not correct. So the right answer is option C. Next question. Question number 3. Look at this one. This question from reproductive health chapter. It is surgical method of contraception is given in the reproductive health chapter. So what is given? A human male decide to adopt a surgical method. In males, what kind of surgical method happened? Tell me. Vasectomy. In female, tubectomy. In males, vasectomy. We know this one, right? It's a surgical contraceptive method. For contraception, fine. Identify the point, the diagram where a cut would be made and tied is given. Where cut would that be incision? Where exactly the incision takes place to do a vasectomy surgery. Look at this is the male reproductive system. We know this is scrotum. Look at here, this part is called scrotum. Look at this is scrotal muscle, scrotum. Okay, this is epididymis. This is testis. I'm a clear student, and this is exactly vas difference. Look at this vas difference is going. So what is going to tight? Vas difference is going to tight. But if you read NCERT clearly, it is clearly mentioned the incision happened on the scrotum. Scrotum, we are making a small incision, small cut, and we are taking out the vas difference and tying up. So the point R is the correct one where the cut has been happened. Look at that. Answer is option B is the correct answer. Don't go with yes. Yes is what? Tell me here. Yes is where? Urinary bladder. Don't go with the P. Point P is what? This is point P is ureter. Point P is ureter. Point Q. Where is point Q? Point Q is also vas different, but the incision happened on the scrotum. In case of tubectomy surgery, the incision takes place on the abdomen. NCERT read clearly it is mentioned in tubectomy surgery, incision takes place on the abdomen in female, but in case of male, incision happened during the vasectomy on scrotum. So the right point is what? Tell me. Point R is the correct answer. Am I clear? Shall we go more to the next question? Look at the next question. Which of the following options correctly matches the name of hormone, and it is a site of production in the human body? Correct hormone and site of production we need to identify. Oxytocin, we know in 11th grade also we learned the anatomy of pituitary gland. 2 lobes are there, anterior lobe and also posterior lobe, adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. Oxytocin and ADH hormones from where? Posterior pituitary. So I'm writing what? Tell me. Oxytocin is the pituitary, option 3. So I'm writing 3. So P3 I'm writing. Fine. Relaxin hormone from ovary. So what is Q? Q I'm writing it is 4. P is what? Tell me. P is 3. Q is 4. Relaxin hormone later phase of pregnancy from ovary. Remember, read NCERT, it's clearly mentioned relaxin hormone is released in the later phase of pregnancy in female blood. Keep in mind. Next, what is mentioned? HCG, corpus luteum and placenta, HCG. So R is 1, HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin hormone from placenta. There is one question in PYQ. Which all the hormones exclusively present during the pregnant woman? HCG, HPL, relaxin hormone you should write, because estrogen, progesterone normally present in every females, but during pregnancy time, relaxin, HCG, HPL concentration increase. Keep in mind. Okay. Next, progesterone hormone from where? Corpus luteum. So S is, I'm writing what? Tell me. S3. I'm writing S2. So 3, 4, 1, 2. Find out 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. Option C is the correct answer. I'm a clear student. Shall we go to the next question? Look at here. This is the menstrual flow. Days is given here. Menstruation, ovulation, and also secretory phase they given here. Okay. 1 to 28 days is given. Normal menstrual cycle takes place every 28 days once. We discussed already in the class, right? Look at here. What is given? Observe the following line diagram depict 28 days menstrual cycle of a healthy young woman. Fine. Select the option of days on which this woman would be most and least fertile is given. Most fertile days, least fertile days is given. We know the entire menstrual cycle has been divided into 4 phases. Menstrual phase, follicular phase, ovulatory phase, secretory phase or luteal phase. 4 phases are there. Correct? Now look at here. What is mentioned here? Most fertile days are 14 to 21. Least fertile days are 1 to 7. 1 to 7. But here the most fertile days 14 to 21 is not correct, right? 14th day, yeah, ovulation takes place. And there is a chance after that there is the egg is going to destroy. So the most appropriate fertile days are what? Tell me. 10 to 17 days is the correct. 10 to 17 is the most fertile days. 21 to 28 is least fertile days. Correct. Next, 1 to 7 is most. No. Why 1 to 7 is because 1 to 7 there is a menstrual flow takes place. There is no development of Graafian follicle, no follicle maturation, nothing. Next, to 14 to 21, no. We cannot. Next, 21 to 28, no. And 7 to 14, no. So the right option, I am going with option B is the correct answer. 10 to 17, exactly this 10 to 17 days period of time only. Do remember in the reproductive health chapter, periodic abstinency, one method is the natural contraceptive method. The couples avoid intercourse between these days because these are high fertile days is given in reproductive health chapter. So 10 to 17 is what? Tell me, is the high fertile days, and 21 to 28 is least fertile because egg lifespan only 24 hours to 48 hours. Clear, student? Next question. Look at the next question. A periodic abstinence. Look at here, this question. Periodic abstinency, reproductive health chapter question. Periodic abstinency by couple for family planning should be from the given day 5 to day 10. No. Next, day 13 to day 15. No. Day 10 to day 17 of the menstrual cycle. So the correct answer is option C, because the ovulation takes place in between these days. So chance of high fertile and chance of high pregnancy chances there between 10 to 17. Am I clear? So the right option is option C will come. Shall we move on to the next question? Look at the next question. Next question. In human, the secondary oocyte complete meiotic division when? This is a very important question, student. Many time repeated in PYQ. Look at we already discussed this question. I think it's, if I'm not wrong, second question I already explained this one. But one more time it's repeating, but this time options are completely different. It get implanted in the uterine endometrium. Leave it. Implantation means after fertilization only. Blastocyst stage they're talking about. We are still in the secondary oocyte, so option A is completely wrong. Leave it. Next, it is released from matured Graafian follicle. No. The ovulation time. No. Ovulation time still it is in the form of secondary oocyte only. So that secondary oocyte need to be complete meiosis too. But in that time, ovulation time, it will not. Leave it. Next, it is penetrated by the sperm cell. Next, acrosomal enzyme break down the zona pellucida. What is the correct answer between C and D? If you closely read the insert, I told you acrosome of sperm can break down the zona pellucida and plasma membrane. So the correct answer is option D is the right answer. It's not corona radiata, it is zona pellucida. ZP, zona pellucida. Am I clear? Acellular glycoproteinaceous membrane, secondary egg membrane. Clear, my student? Next, we are going to the next question. Look at it. This is the diagrammatic, what they call embryonal, after fertilization, the blastocyst and cleavage patterns is given here. Select the option that gives the correct identification of ovum morula. They are asking what ovum. Look at here. Ovum. Second one is morula and blastocyst in the human female reproductive system as shown in the diagram is given. Here we need to identify ovum and number 2 morula and number 3 blastocyst. Clear? Now look at here. Diagram A, I can write A is ovum, A ovum, Okay. Next, B is what? B is fertilization process. B is, look at the sperm command attached, fertilization process. C, D, E. Now I can write, if you read NCERT, 8 cell stage to 16 cell stage. 8 cell stage to 16 cell stage is called morula, is given in NCERT. It's a morula, right? 8 cell stage to 16 cell stage, still zona pellucida is there intact. Corona radiata dissolve, corona radiata disappear, but zona pellucida remain with the blastomas, remain with the embryo. Clear? Now, so I can write what? Tell me E, F. Look at E and also F. I can write morula, morula. And the last one is what? Tell me G. G is what? Tell me blastocyst, blastocyst. I'm a clear student. Look at the, find out the correct answer now. Ovum B. B is not ovum. Ovum A. A is ovum. Fine. Morula B. B is what? Tell me fertilization process. Not correct. Ovum A. A is ovum. Correct. Morula E. E is there. Right. E is morula and G is blastocyst. So option C is the appropriate correct one. And look at the option 4. Ovum B. B is not ovum. B is fertilization process. I'm a clear student. Now it is morula D. What is D? Is not morula. D is the 4 cell stage of zygote or 4 cell stage of embryo. We can write. It's called blastoma. The cells are called what? Tell me blastomas. Am I clear? So the correct answer is option C is the correct answer. Remember all of you, blastocyst stage is that stage where implantation takes place in uterus. Implantation takes place in uterus and this cavity is called what? Tell me blastocele. This is known as blastocele. Remember all of it, blastocele. Exactly, blastocyst stage only implantation takes place in the endometrium uterus. Keep in mind, very important question. Next, short answer question. So far MCQs we discussed, now short answer questions. Look at the first short answer question. Very, very important student, very important diagram. We know this stage is called what? Tell me blastocyst stage. Just now only I explained blastocyst stage. Let me take a rough human female reproductive system diagram. Look at here, these are fallopian tubes, right? Fallopian tubes, and this is uterus, and this is uterus, and this is vagina. Fine. Now here it is, highly folded membrane is what? Endometrium. This highly folded membrane is known as endometrium. Here ovaries are there. Look at here, these are ovaries. These are ovaries here. We know after ovulation there will be a corpus luteum is there, and the corpus luteum produce what? Tell me progesterone hormone, right? Now here after egg release, fertilization takes place. Slowly it undergo 2 cell stage, 4 cell stage. We discussed this one. Fine. Now once it come to this stage, which stage is this? Tell me blastocyst stage. How can we identify the blastocyst? I told you the blastomas are arranged like an outer layer, trophoblast, and inner cell mass. Now here I am writing this layer is called what? Tell me outer layer. Outer layer is called trophoblast or trophoectodermal cells. And in the middle what is that? Tell me. These are inner cell mass. This is inner cell mass and also what? Trophoectodermal cell. So X, this is X. X is what? Tell me. X is trophoblast. Trophoblast. I'm clear? So what about this one? This one is called ICM, inner cell mass. Inner cell mass. This is actually blastocyst stage located in the uterus. Look at what they given. The diagram given below shows a developmental stage of human embryo. Answer the following questions. Identify and name the human embryonic stage showed. We identify. You need to identify. You need to name. This stage is blastocyst stage. Blastocyst stage. Next, mention the exact location in the human, in the normal pregnancy. Blastocyst stage located in the endometrium, that means uterus. Uterus. Write one function of each of 2 parts, label XY. X is trophoblast, which is going to embed and attach to the endometrium, which we call implantation. You know, when this stage come and attach here, careful look at it. When this stage come and attach here, this is endometrium, right? This endometrium, NCERT mentioned, this endometrium completely cover the, look at it. This endometrium completely covers the what they call blastocyst. This process known as what? Tell me. Implantation. X trophoblast is going to attach the endometrium, and from trophoblast only, extra embryonal membranes. What are extra embryonal membrane? Yolk sac, placenta, chorion, and also your amnion type of extra embryonal layer developed from where? Trophoblast. Remember, trophoblast. Next, ICM. What is the function of ICM? ICM, inner cell mass differentiated into embryo, fetus. ICM differentiated into a fetus, complete embryo or complete fetus. These are actually pluripotentic cells. Zygote is totipotentic cell, ICM is pluripotentic cell. So this type of question, if it is come in the exam, you should write like this. You understand my point? What is the stage name? Blastocyst. What is X stands for? X is actually represented as ICM, and X is trophoblast, and Y is what? Tell me. ICM. Clear, student? Move on to the next question. Look at the next question. Here, the graph given below shows the number of primordial follicles per ovary. Number of follicles, primary follicles or primordial follicles in a woman at different ages. Study the graph and answer the question. Simplest question, student. Very easy question. Look at here. In this question, these black dots, look at the black dots are premenstrual woman, regular menses. Okay, premonopause woman, it's a regular menses, and what they call perimenopause woman, irregular menses, and also post-menopause woman is given no menses. Okay, that means 50 years. Okay, now age is given here 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40, 50, 60. If you closely look at this graph, when age is increasing, the follicles are slowly getting down. Look at the decreasing. Yes or no? Follicles decreasing. We learn in oogenesis process, at the time of female baby born, in each ovary, a couple of millions of follicles are present, I said. Do you remember the theory? In the theory class we discussed, during oogenesis process, child, the female girl in each ovary, a couple of millions of follicles are present. And these follicles undergo a process called atresia. When the girls come to a maturation time, 13 years, 12 to 13 years of period of time, these 2 millions of follicles in each ovary started to get atresia, degeneration at the time of menstruation, at the time of first menstrual, that is called what? Menarche. In the first menstruation, 60,000 to 80,000 follicles only left in each ovary. 60,000 to 80,000 follicles left in each ovary at the time of maturation. At the time of birth, couple of millions of follicles in each ovary. But that many follicles are slowly going to atresia, degeneration. Correct? Now look at the first question. What is the average? What is the average age of woman at the onset of menopause? 50 years. 50. Simple answer. 50. Menopause is what? Tell me. 50 to 52 years menopause normally come. Next. At what age are maximum primordial follicles present in the ovary according to the graph? 10. Simple answer. At what age? 10. 2 mark question. How? Simple question. You need to understand the graph and write the answer. Very easy. Shall we move on to the next question? Look at the next question. This is also graph based question. This is also graph based 2 mark question. Look at the graph. Time, days, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. And wall of thickness. Wall thickness is given. Okay. Wall thickness. Let me draw the diagram, graph here. Look at here. This is a graph they mentioned here. Now this is a 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 and also 30 is given, and this is the thickness of wall. This is what that means, endometrium thickness. I'm right, endometrium thickness. Fine, endometrium thickness. Now what happened here? This slowly going right like this. Look at here. In case of this one, first woman, X woman, Y woman is going down and X woman is increasing like this. This is X woman and this is Y woman, right? Fine. Careful, look at here. We know once the secondary oocyte get fertilized, once secondary oocyte get fertilized, I told you in the theory class, in the ovary, corpus luteum will be persist for 4 months, longer period of time the corpus luteum will be there. And the corpus luteum continuously secrete the hormone called progesterone. Progesterone hormone will maintain the thickness of endometrium. Look at the X woman. In X woman, after fertilization, after ovulation, okay, the X woman after ovulation, this endometrium thickness is keep on increasing. When endometrium thickness is increasing means in X woman, this egg has been fertilized to form zygote. That means she is pregnant. X woman is pregnant. What about the Y? Now after ovulation, the endometrium is slowly coming down, going down. So when the endometrium is breaking down, that means in Y woman, there is no fertilization takes place, no corpus luteum persisting and producing progesterone hormone to maintain the endometrium thickness. Look at what they mentioned. What does the graph with respect, let me finish this one. Study the graph given below and respect to the changes in the thickness of uterine wall, X and Y woman. Okay, fine, we understood that. What does the graph with respect to X? X, woman X is pregnant. Woman X in fertilization takes place. That's why progesterone hormone is keep on secreting to maintain the thickness of endometrium. I'm a clear student. Look at here. Next, number 2, and Y, woman Y indicate, give suitable reason. In woman Y, the endometrium is dropped. The endometrium thickness is decreasing. Endometrium become thinner and thinner due to the low progesterone hormone. When will low progesterone hormone form in the female body? When egg is not fertilized. Am I clear? Shall we move on to the next question? Look at the next question. Very important question, student. Very important question. Spermatogenesis. This seminiferous tubule diagram question, very important. This academic year, last academic year, spermatogenesis question was there. This academic year, oogenesis thoroughly prepare and go. Embryonal development prepare and go. Embryonal development process and oogenesis thoroughly prepare and go. This time there is a high chance of ovary structure and also oogenesis process and embryo development process. Very important in 2025. Sure, there is a chance to come question from that particular area. Got my point? Look at here. Here the given below a diagrammatic sectional view of seminiferous tubule. Seminiferous tubule is given. Before I go to the seminiferous tubule, let me write the all stages of spermatogenesis. That will be very easy to answer this question. Okay, it is for the revision also for you. Let me write here. First one is called spermatogonia. Spermatogonia. So the first one is called, tell me, spermatogonia. Haploid or diploid? Diploid. Spermatogonia is diploid. Spermatogonia undergo mitotic division, which we call what? Tell me, multiplication phase to form primary spermatocyte. Spermatocyte, primary spermatocyte, also diploid. Primary spermatocyte also diploid. Primary spermatocyte undergo meiosis 1. So primary spermatocyte undergo meiosis 1 to form secondary spermatocyte. But secondary spermatocyte is haploid. Secondary spermatocyte is haploid. Remember all of you, from one primary spermatocyte, 2 secondary spermatocytes will form. Remember all of you, meiosis 1. So this secondary spermatocyte complete meiosis 2 to give spermatids. Okay, and these spermatids undergo a maturation process to form spermatozoa. You got my point? Spermatozoa. So spermatid also N, spermatozoa also N. I would like to tell you something. Carefully listen, all of you. Formation and the maturation of spermatozoa from spermatids called spermiogenesis. Remember, all of you, which hormone is essential for this one? FSH. Remember, follicle stimulating hormone. This follicle stimulating hormone acts on Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells release some factors. These factors are important for this process. Which process? Spermiogenesis process. Maturation of spermatozoa from spermatids called spermiogenesis. After maturation of this entire spermatozoa, releasing from seminiferous tubule called spermiation. Spermiation. Clear, student? Now, these are the entire schematic representation. Let me finish this one also. These are secondary spermatocyte, and this secondary spermatocyte undergo meiosis 2, and they produce what? Tell me, total 4 spermatids. Spermatids. This name is called spermatids, and these spermatids are undergo maturation to form spermatozoa. Haploid spermatozoa. These all 4 are called spermatozoa. Am I clear, students? Come here. What exactly mentioned here? You need to identify first which cell is primary spermatocyte, which one is second, which one is spermatid, which one is spermatozoa in the diagram. Very, very important. Let me use other color. Look at here. First, what they mention here. Given below is a diagrammatic sectional view of seminiferous tubule. State the development process of B from A is mentioned. B from A. Come here, all of you. B from A. Look at here. This is B and this is A. So A, I'm writing here A. A is primary spermatocyte. Primary spermatocyte. B is secondary spermatocyte. If you have NCERT, all of you open. B is secondary spermatocyte. Okay, so I can write B is forming from A. The process is called meiosis 1. Meiosis 1. Look at it. Meiosis 1. Primary spermatocyte to secondary spermatocyte. Meiosis 1. Simple answer. If you understand the whole mechanism only, you can write the answer. Otherwise, no. So carefully look at here. So A is what? A is primary spermatocyte. B is secondary spermatocyte. So B is forming from the A through which process? Tell me. The process called meiosis 1. So the first question answer is what? Tell me. For this one. This one is meiosis 1. E from D. Where is E? Where is E? Look at this is called E. This is E. Look at it. This is E and this is D. Sir, how can I identify spermatozoa and spermatids in the diagram? Student, I'll give you the hint to identify. Look at the diagram carefully. The cell which is attached to the Sertoli, which is still attached to the different other cells, is called spermatid. Spermatid did not properly mature. The cell which is did not attach to anyone called spermatozoa. Find out there. Look at here. Sir, these cells, look at these cells. E cells are not attached to anyone. So this E is called spermatozoa. Spermatozoa. D is attached to this cell. This cell is called Sertoli. Sertoli. So D must be what? D must be spermatid. So here I am writing. Now tell me, E is spermatozoa. Spermatozoa, and D is spermatid. Spermatid. Look at here. Look at here. E is not attached to anyone. D is attached to Sertoli cell. So what is the phenomena? What is the process between these two? I told you. Spermatozoa to spermatid is spermiogenesis. So second answer is spermiogenesis. Come to the third one. D from B is given. Where is D? D, and where is from B? Now look at B. Let me write here. B is secondary spermatocyte. Secondary spermatocyte. Okay. And they're asking B to D. Yes or no? Look at here. D to B. Look at here. D to B. Okay, right. D to B. Fine. D to B. Meiosis 2 is the right answer. Meiosis 2 is the correct answer. Look at here. Meiosis 2 is forming from secondary spermatocyte to spermatids. How simple. And the last one is what? Tell me. Identify A, B, C. They're asking. Identify A, B, C. Where is A? Now look at A is primary spermatocyte. I already wrote here. A is primary spermatocyte. B is secondary spermatocyte. And C, this is important. C is Sertoli. Seminiferous tubule diagram should be in your brain before you attend the final exam, student. Very, very important. Second, seminiferous tubule diagram, ovary diagram, and menstrual chart diagram. Which hormone is up, which hormone is down, which stage is estrogen is high, progesterone low, should be perfect. You should be perfect. Otherwise, there is a chance of what they call lose marks. Am I clear? Till here everything clear? This question is clear. Shall we go to the next question? Next question. The diagram given below shows the event occurring in the ovary during oogenesis in human female. This is the ovary oogenesis process. X is primary follicle, and I can write here if it is X, this is called secondary follicle, this is called tertiary, this is secondary follicle, this is tertiary follicle, and Y is called, what, tell me, this entire one is called Graafian follicle, and Y I can write secondary oocyte, and Z is called corpus luteum. Correct, student? Look at it. This is the internal structure of ovary and ovulation process. Okay, and what they call follicular development also is given here. Now, identify X, mention the time when the process occur in the human female. X is secondary oocyte, X is primary follicle, So X is primary follicle. X is primary follicle. Identify X. Mention the time. Embryonal stage. Time. The process occurs in human. Embryonal. I told you, oogenesis process began at embryonal stage. Correct? Next. Identify Y. Y. Where is Y? Y is, what, tell me? Y is secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte. Fine, students. Next, when and how it is formed? Meiosis 1 in the, what they call, tertiary follicle. In tertiary follicle, meiosis 1 complete to form two cells. One is called secondary follicle, secondary oocyte, and the second one is called first polar body. Am I clear, student? Next, name the hormone produced by Z. Z is corpus luteum. It produces the hormone called progesterone hormone, which is essential for the maintenance of endometrium, thickness of endometrium. Clear? Next question. Long answer questions. Now, so for short answers question we have been discussed. Now, long answers question. Look at the first question. Long answer first question. Again, menstrual cycle is, look at here how many questions are related to menstrual cycle and ovary, spermatogenesis, gametogenesis, and menstruation. Thoroughly prepare and go, students. Gametogenesis, oogenesis, spermatogenesis, and entire menstrual cycle, table, cycle, everything properly prepare and go. Look at here what is mentioned here. Observe the diagram given below showing the menstrual flow or menstrual cycle of the normal human female. Answer the questions that follow. What are the suitable technique terms used for the following? Okay. 1 to 7, day 1 to 7, menstruation. Next, days 8 to 12, follicular phase, or this is also known as what? Follicle development phase, follicular phase. Am I clear? Proliferative phase also you can write, proliferative phase or follicular phase. Day 16 to day 28, secretory phase. It is also called luteal phase. The last, day 13 to day 15, ovulatory phase. Remember all of it. Clear? Next question. Explain the role of ovarian and pituitary hormones during the following time period. What they're asking? Ovarian hormone. Ovarian hormones are two, estrogen hormone and progesterone hormone. Next, pituitary hormones. So they are asking, pituitary hormones are again two, FSH hormone, LH hormone. My dear students, carefully try to understand. During the time of menstruation, estrogen hormone concentration, progesterone hormone concentration low. Due to the low progesterone concentration, endometrium rupture, mucus, blood, and what they call mucus, blood are discharged through a vagina. Once this menstrual process completed, FSH, LH hormones are peak level, slowly increasing, in which follicles are slowly developing. Because of that one, follicle development takes place. And in the middle of the menstruation, that means during this ovulation time, estrogen, FSH, LH hormones are peak level. It ruptures the Graafian follicle and ovulation takes place. Ovulation takes place. Next, day 8 to 12. 8 to 12 is what? Proliferative phase, FSH, LH. FSH and LH peak level essential for the development of follicles. Okay. Next, day 13 to 15, estrogen hormone, LH hormones are peak level for ovulation process. Day 16 to 28, progesterone hormone level is high to maintain the endometrium thickness. Am I clear? Shall we move on to the next question? Next question. Look at the next. Mammary glands. Very important. Mammary gland. When and how does fetal ejection reflex begin? Fetal ejection reflex begin when fully developed fetus started the what they call fetal ejection reflex, or fully developed fetus initiate the parturition signals, and this slightly increase the oxytocin hormone in the mother body to cause a mild what they call contraction of uterus, called what, tell me? Fetal ejection reflex. Next, pituitary gland and uterine muscles play an important role during the pregnancy. Parturition, explain. We discussed during the parturition time, in mother's blood, pituitary gland secrete the hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin hormone acts on the myometrium of uterus and they slightly contract. When the concentration of oxytocin increase, the contraction of these uterine muscles also got increased. So fully developed fetus started to expel out from uterus. This process called parturition. So these two muscles, which muscles? Uterine muscles are very important for the parturition. Cervical muscles are very important for parturition. On this muscle, which hormone act? Oxytocin hormone act. You can write. Next, a functional mammary gland is characteristic of all female mammals. Given below is a diagrammatic sectional view of a mammary gland. Identify the parts 1, 2, 3. 15 to 20 lobes, mammary lobes in each breast we discussed in the anatomy of breast. When I was explaining about the anatomy of breast, I told you mammary glands is a characteristic feature of all female human beings or all female mammalians. Yes or no, student? In every breast, look at the first one is called mammary lobe. How many mammary lobes are there? 15 to 20 mammary lobes in each breast. In this mammary lobe, there are small cells are called alveoli, which produce what? Tell me, milk. Alveoli. So 2 I can write mammary. First one is mammary lobe and second one is called mammary tubules. Mammary tubules. Mammary tubules are joined to form mammary duct. Mammary ducts are open into the wider cavity called ampulla. Ampulla to 3. Third one is, if I am not wrong, third one is lactiferous duct to what they call nipple to outside. So first one mammary lobe, mammary tubule, after that mammary duct, after that ampulla, after the lactiferous tubules, nipple to outside. Clear? Shall we move on to the next question? Next question, secondary oocyte structure. This is the secondary oocyte. Okay, look at here. Given below is the diagrammatic representation of human ovum. Identify the parts A, B, C. A, B, C. What is A? Corona radiata. A cells are corona radiata. Granulosa cells are wrap around or surround around the secondary oocyte. A, corona radiata. Next, what they're asking? B, C also, right? Where is B? B, zona pellucida. C is the nucleus of secondary oocyte, haploid nucleus. Clear? And here the reserve food metal is there. And this space is called Peri-vitelline space. Remember all of you, peri-vitelline space. Next. This ovum is released from ovary with incomplete meiotic division. When, where and how it is undergo meiosis division, complete the meiosis division. I told you this question is many times repeating. Carefully look at here. One more time I'm repeating. One more time I'm going to explain this question. Carefully look at here. When, where and how. When, where and how. Carefully listen here. When at the time of sperm come in contact with the secondary oocyte. Look at it. This is secondary oocyte. Plasma membrane. Okay, this is called peri-vitelline space. This is called plasma membrane, PM. Okay, this is called peri-vitelline space, and this is nucleus. I'm writing nucleus here, nucleus, and this is cytoplasm. Am I clear? And around this one there is what is this one? Tell me. Acellular zona pellucida. Zona pellucida is there. Fine. And outside of this zona pellucida, corona radiator cells are there, like this. Corona radiator cells. These are corona radiator granulosa cells. Which one is acellular? Zona pellucida is the acellular membrane, like this. Zona pellucida, acellular membrane. Number one, first thing keep in mind all of you. When sperm, like this, come and trigger, look at it. When sperm come and trigger zona pellucida, at the time of fertilization and zona pellucida dissolve this one when it is released into the cytoplasm, meiosis to complete. Meiosis to complete. How? I explain here. Where? In fallopian tube, not in the ovary. In fallopian tube. Got my point? When? At the time of sperm and contact. Where? In fallopian tube. How? When the sperm release their acrosomal enzyme action and they release their nucleus into the cytoplasm, that time meiosis to get complete. And they form what? Tell me. One small cell here which we call second polar body. Second polar body which is going to degenerate later, and this big cell is actually called ooted. It's called what? Tell me. Ooted. With the ooted nucleus only, sperm haploid nucleus fuse to form diploid zygote, that is called fertilization. Am I clear, student? Now come here. How does an ovum ensure the entry of a single sperm during fertilization? This is done by zona pellucida layer. Zona pellucida undergo lot of chemical changes to prevent the polyspermic entry. This zona pellucida, once one sperm come in contact, it will be completely block the entire area to prevent the multiple sperm entry. Simple answer. Shall we go to the next question? Look at the next question. Draw a diagrammatic sectional view of the ovary with blood vessels, primary follicle, ovary and tertiary follicle. This diagram you have to practice. This diagram NCERT given. You have to practice the diagram with primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, Graafian follicle and ovulation process. Clear? Now, at which stage of life are primary follicles formed in the human female? Embryonal stage. 2 million of primary follicle in each ovary in the embryonal stage, I said. Fine. Next, explain the event both hormonal and structural that occur at the time of ovulation till the onset of next menstrual cycle. Remember all of you, if this type of questions come at the time of menstruation, at the time of what they call ovulation, LH, FSH, estrogen hormones are peak level to break the Graafian follicle, and once they break the Graafian follicle, ovulation, that means releasing of secondary oocyte takes place. Once the secondary oocyte release and the finger-like projections of fallopian tube take into the antrum, into the cavity of fallopian tube where sperm come in contact with the egg, secondary meiosis completed and fertilization takes place, zygote form. Once zygote form, the corpus luteum continuously produce the progesterone hormone, the endometrium thicker and thicker for the implantation process. Clear, students? Come to the next question. Next question. Read the following passages and answer the questions. Spermatogenesis is an important primary sex characteristic in human and all other vertebrae. The process of coordinate and control under the influence of hormones. It starts with the onset of puberty in humans and thereafter continues. The primordial cells within the embryonic testes, which differentiate into spermatogonia, are the precursors of sperms. These are located in the outer wall of the seminiferous tubule where the process of spermatogenesis proceeds. They given one small passage. Okay. Next, state the site of action FSH testis and what they call describe the action of thereafter. I told you this one is a case-based question. I told you this one. FSH acts on Sertoli. Sertoli produce some factors. These factors help in where? Spermiogenesis. Simple answer. First question answer is spermiogenesis, and FSH acts on Sertoli cells. Come to the next one here. Describe the role of LH in the process of spermatogenesis. LH hormone is also called ICSH hormone, which acts on the leading cells for the production of androgen called testosterone. Testosterone is important for the spermatogenesis and the growth, physical growth, and also what they call other physiological activities. Clear, students? Come. Name the cells that their product which undergo mitosis and differentiation. Mitosis, primary ooze. Mitosis, spermatogonia. Differentiate to form primary spermatocyte. Clear? Next, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 during the process of spermatogenesis. Meiosis 1 is primary spermatocyte. Meiosis 2 is secondary spermatocytes. Done. Next, name the accessory ducts that are sperm travel through from seminiferous tubule to reach the epididymis. Very easy. Seminiferous tubule to retatestis, retatestis to vasa efferentia, vasa efferentia to epididymis, epididymis to vas deferens, vas deferens to urethra, urethra to outside. Tell me, what are they? First one is called seminiferous tubule. Directly seminiferous tubule to what? Tell me. Retatestis. Retatestis. Retatestis to where? Vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia to epididymis. Epididymis to vas deferens. Vas deferens to where? Urethra. Urethra to where? Outside. This is the exactly what? Sperm passage or sperm pathway outside. Am I clear, students? You got my point? Next question. Look at the next question. Again, spermatogenesis process. Same thing what I explained the previous question. Same question is there. You just go through this one. Next question. Very important. In a human female, the reproductive phases start on the onset of puberty and ceases around the middle age of the what they call female. Study the graph given below regarding menstrual cycle and answer the question. This is the menstrual cycle. A total initiative graph has been given. This is a case-based question. Careful look at here. We'll mark something. One important point. This is a progesterone hormone and this is a estrogen hormone. And in the ovulation time, estrogen hormone. Look at here. LH, FSH are very peak level, right? After ovulation, look at here. Estrogen hormone is decreasing. Progesterone hormone is high. Estrogen hormone low. Correct? You understand my point? And after some time, progesterone hormone is also going to come down. Again, second menstruation takes place. Fine, student? And after ovulation process, look at your LH and FSH hormones are going down. Look at here, going down. So what type of question they're asking? Look at the first question. First question is what? Name the hormone and their source organ which are responsible for menstrual cycle at puberty. Menstrual cycle hormone is progesterone. I told you when low progesterone cannot maintain the thickness of endometrium, so endometrium will rupture with blood and mucus discharge through vagina. That process called menstruation. Am I clear, student? That process called menstruation. Next, for successful pregnancy, at what phase of the menstrual cycle and an embryo up to 3 blastomers should be implanted in the uterus? IUT, intrauterine transfer, okay, of a human female who has adopted assisted reproductive technology, okay, support your answer they're asking. For successful pregnancy, at what phase of menstrual cycle? You know, to better implantation success rate after ovulation. That means 15th day after, 16th, 17th or after 20th day, because endometrium is become more thicker, that time if you introduce this, or if you implant, or if you introduce this embryo into the uterus, high chance of implantation. Total 28 days of cycle. After ovulation, after 15th and 14th, endometrium thickness is increasing. Look at your comeback. Look at the endometrium thickness is increasing. When is the endometrium thickness is increasing? Look at your progesterone hormone is high. So endometrium thickness increase 20 day, 20, 21, 22. This all days endometrium thickness important. Endometrium thickness is increasing. This time if embryo is introduced in the uterus, high chance of implantation. Because endometrium thickness is essential for the implantation purpose. That's the reason why progesterone hormone is called pregnancy hormone. Progesterone hormone is called implantational hormone. You got my point? So the right answer of this question is after 20 or 18 to 20 days in between, if you introduce into the uterus, high chance of implantation. Name the hormone and its source organ responsible of the events occurring during the proliferate. FSH and LH hormone. Most important hormone which increase the size of follicle. Which increase the size of follicle. That's what we call FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Right? These two are pituitary hormone. Along with this one, I can also say what? Tell me. Estrogen hormone, ovarian hormone. Come to the OR question. In a normal human female, why does menstruation only occur if the releasing ovum is not fertilized? Explain. Simple answer. When egg is not fertilized, corpus luteum is slowly going to degenerate, become corpus albicans, corpus, what they call allantois. So slowly corpus luteum degenerate, progesterone hormone level decrease in the blood can cause the next menstruation. Progesterone hormone low level cannot maintain the thickness of endometrium. So next menstruation started. Simple answer. I'm a clear student. Shall we go to the next question? Look at the next question. This question is actually from, this is human health and disease chapter. I'm not discussing. Okay. This is a malarial parasite in the human health and disease chapter. I'm going to the next question. Draw a diagram of sperm. Label the 4 parts. Sperm diagram they're asking. You have to practice this sperm diagram. Sperm diagram, secondary oocyte diagram, and female reproductive system and male reproductive system. You have to practice. Clear? Next. In a human female, probably of an ovum is get fertilized. Then one sperm get fertilized by more than one sperm is impossible. Why? Give a reason they're asking. I told you zona pellucida is the acellular glycoproteinaceous membrane which surround around the egg will ensure the entry of a single sperm. It is impossible that more than one sperm combine fertilize with single egg. So who is going to ensure? Zona pellucida. Simple answer. Acellular zona pellucida will take care of this one. As acellular zona pellucida ensure the entry of a single ovum and prevent the multi sperm entry. Simple answer. Right? Next. These are the questions. These are the questions. Look at your student. We discuss from entire human reproductive system. PYQs, MCQ questions are there. 2 mark, short answers questions, long answers, and case study based questions. Sure, this video will help you. Next video session, we are going to discuss PYQ from biotechnology principle and process chapter. I hope you all are seriously preparing for your upcoming CBSE examination. This video will help you to get full marks in biology. All the very best. Thank you.